Dave, now we're set up in this theatre.
Mm-hmm.
What movie are we watching?
Well, we could be watching something fairly mild like a Walt Disney, but usually Bad Memories are more like a Stephen King, a horror movie, and they end up where we feel really bad. Have you got a bad memory?
Look, I just tell you one that happened this morning, not so bad, but bad enough. I was looking forward to a really good cup of coffee. I got up early. I made the coffee, went to the fridge to get the milk out. And I dropped the milk on the floor. Dog's happy, I'm cranky, I'm still cranky.
Like all stories, there's usually the beginning, a few bits in the middle, and the end.
Yeah.
So in your case, we would rewind that movie of you spilling the milk, and then we rewind back looking forward to having the coffee, so you're feeling much better.
So I can change my mind about how I feel now.
You can.
Because I've gone back to the good feeling.
Well, you don't have to feel cranky anymore, because your mind now is remembering pre the incident and your good feelings and anticipation of a nice cup of coffee. You're in charge of the remote and you're in charge of the rewind, because you've rewound to that pre-spill event. You're feeling better. So that's the point of the rewind, getting back to the good spot in a deliberate way.
Why isn't that just helping me relive the awful experience of spilling the milk?
With rewind, there's the rewind button, but there's also a fast rewind. And the fast rewind, you know, it goes back twice as fast, then you do it 4 times, 8 times, 16 times as fast. If you do that, the images become blurry, and it only takes seconds to go from the end of it, the bad spot, back to the good spot. So you practice rewinding ordinary speed at first, but then you speed it up to get it down to just a few seconds, and you're there in the good spot. And when the memory intrudes on you, you've trained your mind just to automatically click in on the rewind.
And that's on top of the distancing, by being away, looking at the screen, being back from the screen, and then even being in the back row watching myself watch the screen. I'm probably going to feel okay about having spilt the milk without too much tragedy.
Yeah, that's right. And I emphasise practice. You will go home and practice doing this.
How many times would, for example?
Because you actually are practicing the speed version, everything's blurry. And you trigger it deliberately from where it ended up, but back to the good spot. And if it only takes a few seconds to actually practice it 30 times, we're talking less than a couple of minutes here of practice, and that's enough to get it as a habit in your mind.